Okay, so this is my super fancy way of deciding how big to cut it. Now, because I bought scraps, and you're probably going to be using old remnants of things that you already have, or you too might go to a thrift store. What I recommend you do, and I'm just gonna show you what I'm going to do with this. Now, remember, there's all sorts of different sizes of dogs, and so I recommend that you go a little bit smaller. We don't want to get too overwhelmed with having to have too much filling. If you have a lot of filling, then go for it. So what I recommend is just folding it into like even amounts. Like, does this look like it would be a good size for it? And this is approximately 20. I actually won this tape measure from Riley Blake when I was there at Garden of Quilts. So I'm going to measure that for you. It is approximately 29 by 23. Now, if you're kind of curious, obviously we're going to be making, it's going to be boxed, or not boxed, but it will be padded. So you're going to lose some of that space. But if you're not sure, I mean, we can just go over to Canadian, I don't know, wherever you're from. We have Canadian Tire here that sells dog beds, or you can go to a dog pet value or any sort of online pet or Amazon, for heaven's sakes, and look at pet bed sizes, and then you can kind of get approximation. Now, this is the first time I've ever made one, so you're actually getting like me just making it and figuring it all out as I go. So for me, I feel like that would be a really good shape, just because then that way I don't have any waste when I'm cutting. And so with polyester, I'm going to play around with this. So here we're going to cut it once. Now, I also don't want to have 4 seams. I want to just like fold it over. So I am going to cut down the middle of this one, and sometimes it will tear and rip. I prefer the ripping and tearing, just because then it's less time, and who doesn't think that's super satisfying? It works. I remember when my kids were little, they loved helping me rip the fabric. So there we go, we're getting our workout in. So we're gonna rip this down the middle, and then, so we'll put that one aside. And now we had decided we're gonna fold this in half. We're gonna sew that in half, and then we will take the full length of it and we will cut it one more time. So we'll see. I'm not sure if it's gonna rip the other way, depending on how this was made. So I just folded that in half. This is very technical, people. See what I mean? Like, we're not gonna go, ooh, It's a little bit, there's like some, let's see if this will work. If not, oh yeah, it will. So I'm just gonna cut this one, rip it. And then we've got, and there was a serged edge, so I'll just trim that up. And so now we know we're going to have this size and fold it in half. And then I'm simply going to just sew all along the edges, and I will leave an opening about 4 inches wide. So I'm just gonna now sew along, and I will come back when that's sewn.